let's just carry on then.
Hi. Yes, I think so. Hello.
Is that our intro?
No. Then he started thinking about doing an OnlyFans, and I was like, no, actually, OnlyFans is gonna ban their sexual content from 1st of September. So
yeah, I saw a meme where OnlyFans bans that your daughter starts asking for money again, and then you're like, oh shit.
No, you know what? Yeah, so I saw that, and I was like, that is actually sad, because I think OnlyFans is gonna go down so much, and there are probably other apps or other networks that are gonna allow it. I know there's this one woman that I follow. I started following her sister because her sister was a fitness influencer like way back when I started like following her, and I was really into like tracking macros and whatever. And she's turned into this more like body positivity person, and more intuitive eating and things like that. And her sister is like complete opposite of her, and she's, first of all, she's a lesbian. Second of all, she like does pole dancing and has like fake boobs and things like that.
Is she blonde?
Yes. And has like what was the point? What were you talking about? I was gonna bring it in somehow, but I can't remember how. Oh my word!
I'm trying to remember.
But it was really like it was
nude. OnlyFans.
Oh yes, okay, and she's on. I don't know. She is on an app called Lonely Hams.
I'm sorry. That's the best,
which is hilarious.
We should have called our podcast Lonely Hams.
Which is hilarious, but she's on that. And I gathered that it's kind of similar to OnlyFans, but it's just different.
That's so good.
Lonely Hams. Either Lonely Hams or Lovely Hams. Both are equally bad. In all honesty.
I prefer Lonely Hams. That's really good. Oh, my eyes hurt laughing. How?
My cheeks are pretty sore.
That's amazing.
Shall we start?
No, I need more wine.
Okay. Okay, go.
Just pause. There it is. We're back. That's usually what it sounds like in this house.
Well, this is our intro now.
Yeah. Just rambling nonsense. It's wonderful.
Like our lives, yes. Rambling nonsense that describes how we are as people. This is a true crime and paranormal podcast, I guess, and I think this is when we start.
Yeah, let's go for it, I guess. Let's jump in.
We're gonna speak about mostly South African true crime and paranormal / cryptid / weird things.
All of that stuff. But it's also gonna focus on other countries, especially all the paranormal things, because doing research for South African ghost stories is so hard. It's trying to get like Zuma to pay back the money. It's that hard. Am I allowed to say that? No, he's in prison. It's fine. I'm allowed to say it.
I'm sure you can say that.
I know he's not even in prison. He had to go to the hospital.
Went to the hospital.
Oh,
but it was apparently just a routine checkup.
Oh, it always is.
Yeah.
That's every
nice.
escape from jail.
It must be nice. But anyway.
So the Hawks are probably going to come for us.
Please no.
You know how hard it was for me to think about our CIA FBI is.
The Hawks. I don't know what a hawk sounds like.
I don't know either.
Oh.
Okay.
So.
Yes.
Should
we say our names? Sorry.
No, I don't think we introduced ourselves. My name is Chanelle.
And I'm Kristin.
And this is Law and Omen.
Yeah, we met each other at work and became friends. And then Chanelle left. And I'm still there. And she's had quite a journey since then.
Wow. I've had quite a journey. Quite a couple of interesting bosses and interesting jobs. But now I am starting a new job and I am
So
very
excited.
excited. Work remote if you can work remote.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go, especially in the current situation we're all in.
Yeah.
Please wear a mask.
Yes, please. And use sanitizer and stuff. And then sneeze on people. Ugh, you see, this is why we don't like people. Because basic things, you just... Okay. Anyway. Oh yeah, you did a disclaimer when we did our test run. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Maybe you should again.
Before I start, I would just like to say that any information that I have gathered is objective. I don't mean any ill will towards anyone that I talk about. It's just a bunch of information that I've gathered on the internet that I would like to report about, and I'd just like to bring light or shine a light upon cases that I don't think get enough publicity at the end of the day. I would like to be able to report on every murder that happens in South Africa, but I know realistically that can't happen because not even every murder or domestic violence or crime is even reported on in South Africa. And I also do reports or stories, I guess, on crime across the world, but we want to try and focus on South African crime and South African paranormal stories and cryptids and
and we're not doing this to like focus on the murderers because
No.
we don't give a crap about them. They don't deserve to even be on this earth. As citizens, we also just want to be aware of what's going on around us and also then bring lights to the victims and celebrate them in some way because they deserve to have their stories told and their names out there because they went through a horrible thing.
Exactly.
And
the
everyone
family
just focuses, and the family. Like
that's
I say,
left over.
Yeah, because, anyway, we'll get into it. That's just our long disclaimer.
So, I mean, no disrespect to anyone that I talk about. I am just reporting on the information that I could find, and a full list of sources will be available in our episode description.
Yeah,
I think.
show notes.
Show notes.
Slow
That's,
notes, yeah.
Slow notes?
Slow
Show
notes.
notes. Our slow notes will be available underneath our podcast.
That's me through school.
Slow notes. So, I guess this is where we start. I am going to be talking about Leighandre Baby Lee Jegels. She was a 25-year-old flyweight boxer, a world karate, continental and South African boxing champion, and she was also a trained teacher, and she's from the Eastern Cape.
A trained teacher?
Trained.
Oh. I was like, wait, she just trained.
I was like, was that not what you say? Like, she's
No.
trained.
My brain just didn't put it together. Also, you say karate like SpongeBob, which is so cute. So every time I just picture him to sound like
Karate.
Karate.
I don't know why I say it like that, but
It's because you're adorable.
it's because I'm Afrikaans. I don't know.
Same.
Alright, so Leighandre was a really, really promising boxer, and as I've mentioned before, she was a champion. She was actually the SA Karate champion from 2009 to 2012. But because of boxing politics, she had to take a little bit of a break, a forced break. I don't think it was I want to take a break for my sanity or whatever. I think it was... Yeah, like I said, it was politics.
Yeah, because you're so young, you're full of fire. You know?
Exactly.
Is it because she was female, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, there's a whole female boxing division, so I can't think that it's because she's female. But I don't know about the boxing industry as a whole, or the karate industry, or anything like that. So I can't speak on that.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but that's like really doing this podcast, just researching these stories and stuff, listening to you. We know nothing about our country, eh?
No.
Like, I haven't heard of the story, and I don't even know the first thing about boxing in South Africa. But we know about the NFL in America, you know?
I know that I really love UFC. I mean, my fiance and I get up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Insane.
To watch UFC, and we actually have a South African, Tokoloshe, that recently fought in the UFC. But he recently fought in a UFC match and he won, and he...
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't seen another. I'm sure there is. I don't know. I'm very new to liking UFC, and I do a little kickboxing on my own. I don't have a teacher or anything, so I'm just doing it for funsies.
So amateur kickboxing.
Yes.
Kind of. And she's been very modest. Like, I've seen it. I don't want to cross her in any kind of alley.
I just want to be able to punch someone if I need to.
Well, yeah, I think you could do that.
Or elbow someone if I really need to. But yeah, so I'm not sure like how many other South African, I know UFC and boxing aren't the same thing, but I don't know I think we're pretty well known-ish in that world of
I mean, we do
boxing.
have good athletes.
Yeah, we do. I think it's just, once again, our history has really set us back a lot. Leighandre was forced to take a sabbatical, I guess you could call it. But during this time, she didn't just sit around at the house and mope. She actually completed her Bachelor of Science degree at the University of Fort Hare, which is in the Eastern Cape. So, we're going to get into the worst part now. Leighandre was training for a comeback in 2019, so 2 years ago, almost 2 years to the day. So she was going to have a bantamweight non-title clash on the 2nd of October 2019.
I'm sorry, but Bantam, like a Bakkie. It blows my mind that there's something called a Bantamweight. Because it's a Bakkie. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'll go anywhere in the world and Bantam is
Bantamweight and then Ford Ranger.
Yeah. It just is.
So on the 2nd of October 2019, she would have had a bantamweight non-title clash, but she wouldn't even be able to reach her comeback because on the 30th of August 2019, Leighandre's dreams were unfairly taken away from her by Bulelani Mayakama. I'm sorry if I don't say that right.
You said you're from Benoni, it's fine.
I'm white. As much as I regret to report that. So I just want to speak about Bulelani for a little bit. He was a tactical response team officer for the police, and he also actually had a restraining order or a protection order against him by Leighandre, because they were exes. They had actually lived together in the past, and there had been claims about domestic violence, and there was actually a video that I saw of her mom in an interview with SABC. She said that her daughter, quote, was abused in any which way you can think of, unquote.
That's terrible. So
she further went to say that she hoped and believed that the protection order against him would, as the frickin' name states, protect them against him. But on the 30th of August, on a Friday afternoon, Leighandre and her mom were on their way to the gym because, like I said previously, Leighandre was training for a comeback. Yeah. And because of this whole Bulelani situation, her mom and dad actually didn't allow her to go anywhere without them. They didn't allow her to travel alone or anything, and her mom went with her to the gym. So, this is so sad. Bulelani actually told them that he had been stalking them after the protection order was already taken out on him.
Oh, that's insane.
Like he still was able to have contact with them. Yeah. That's what I didn't understand, because she also, in one of the interviews, she mentioned that he had spoken about shooting them before. So obviously he could still have some sort of communication, some sort of line of communication with them, which I don't understand because I'm pretty sure I kind of went to go and research the protection, like what a protection order entails and stuff. And obviously you can't be in contact with the person.
Yeah, of course. That defeats the purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how that was allowed or possible. So obviously on the way to the gym, they're usually super vigilant. And I don't know what was happening that particular day, but Rita, I heard Rita and Rita, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, but that's Leighandre's mom. She mentioned how they were so used to having their head on a swivel, basically.
Which is sad.
I can't imagine living like that, constantly having to look behind your back. My fiance and I went on a walk the other night. We went to the beach, and it was quite late at night, and I had my head constantly on a swivel, but that's because I'm just like an anxious person, and I always want to be aware of my surroundings.
And you listen to a lot of true crime.
And I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, but I can't imagine having to live like that in broad daylight, more than we have to as women in South Africa.
Yeah, because you know there is a threat.
Always, but knowing that someone is stalking you and someone is out to get you, and having that raised level of anxiety.
And then
can't
it's not just you,
imagine.
it's your mom and your dad, like your family.
Exactly, you're all in danger,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
And so,
I'm so upset because if someone breaks up with you, just fuck off.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, don't stalk people.
Yeah,
Like,
it's good.
what is wrong with you? Like, investigate what you need to heal within yourself if you feel the need to go and stalk someone into, I don't know what you're trying to gain from that,
Yeah.
but like, you need to investigate yourself because honestly, the problem lies within you.
Yeah,
God.
it's messed up.
Yeah.
Like, you had to put someone else into that position where they feel scared. Like, you like this person or you care about them, so why are you making them feel like that?
Exactly.
Like, do you know why they broke up?
I'm assuming because of the domestic violence that was happening. I think he was probably violent towards her before they broke up, like while they were together. I'm assuming that he was either emotionally abusive or physically abusive. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that it was because of that and why they took out this restraining order as well. I think he was obviously probably went over the top when they broke up.
Yeah.
But I think he was always a little bit, like, I don't know, off.
Oh, it's just so sad.
It
you
is.
You want to trust your partner, and you don't want to feel like they're going to hurt you in some way. It's messed up.
So, on their way to the gym, Reiter noticed that a white Mercedes was following, like, very close behind them. And, like, so close behind them that she even tried to give way, like, you know, pull to the side of the road so that he can move past. But he didn't. They didn't. We don't know who this is at this point, but they didn't. They just kept following closely. Then Leighandre noticed that it was Bulelane, and she told her mom, "It's him. Like he's following us." Yeah. And at this point, she sped up. Leighandre's mom was driving. Reiter was driving, so she sped up to try and get away from him. But he managed to keep up with them and eventually pulled in front of them, blocking them from escaping. So Reiter tried to reverse and make a U-turn to get away, but Bulelane got out of the car at that point, and according to a witness at the scene of the crime, he walked towards the car slowly with a gun in his hand. And I also read in that same interview that from her point of view, it looked like he was doing this like it was nothing. Like it was just like normal life. This is what you do, you know.
Like he's going out to get the mail.
Exactly. Like there was no anger or anything. It was just he did this, which is even more chilling almost to me.
It doesn't feel
colder than just murdering someone out of anger. Not that that's like okay or anything like that.
But I mean, any of us could do that.
Yes, but just being so cold and callous, like it's just someone you loved and you were in a relationship with.
It's insane. It's so crazy how there's such a big there's such a fine line between love and hate. It's really strange.
And insanity and saneness, I guess, as well. Anyway, Bulelane opened fire and began shooting towards Leighandre and her mom, Reiter. And as Reiter tried to get away, she was shot in her eye area. It seemed later, I watched the video of her after the whole shooting incident, and it seemed like everything was still okay. It seemed like, she didn't lose her eye or anything. That's not good. That I'm taking away the traumatic experience of this. And she was in the ICU after this.
Shame. I can't imagine.
So after she'd been shot, after she realized that she had been shot at, Leighandre wanted to swap seats with her mom. She told her mom, let's swap seats, let me drive away. And Reiter said, no, we're gonna waste time. I imagine time that she already feels that they don't have. So she just tried to get away. As she tried to make an escape, she felt a second shot. Reiter felt a second shot, and then she heard another shot. She tried to escape, and she tried to drive for as long as she could and as far away as she could, until she started to feel so weak that she felt that she was putting other people in danger. And I remember when I listened to her retelling this, I thought to myself, you just got shot And you're still thinking about the other people on the road and the safety of them. Like, you're trying to get away from someone who wants to harm you and your daughter, but you're still thinking about other people that you don't even know, so it just goes to show how good of a person she is, and just highlights again that they didn't deserve this.
Because a parent like that is also going to instill that kind of values in their kid.
Exactly.
So, she didn't, I mean, no one deserves it, but, like, she didn't.
Exactly.
Some people are always going to be, oh, but she probably said something or did something to, blame the victim kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. So, to get back to the protection order, like I said, writers said that Bulelane had made threats about shooting them at the past, which is actually why they got the protection order in the first case.
Yeah.
But she also mentioned how she was so disappointed in how the police handled the whole protection order situation, because the officer who handled the case wanted to phone Bulelane to come and sign the papers at the office so that they didn't have to go out and serve him at his place of work and kind of embarrass him.
That's ridiculous.
Like, how does that even
That's disgusting.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Sure, let's protect the man who's been doing all the harm towards a woman he's supposed to be in love with, quote unquote. But surely, let's protect him. That makes sense. Yeah, I in my notes. I wrote question mark. Okay, question mark.
What the hell? Like, why are we protecting him?
I don't understand.
It makes me so mad.
So after this whole shooting happened, Leighandre was shot and she had passed away. Rita was shot twice, in her eye and I think in her arm or in the shoulder area. And Bulelane tried to escape. He fled in his car, in the Mercedes that he had rented. Do you rent a car? Yes, that he had rented.
Yeah.
And he actually had a head-on collision with another car. And he killed 2 other people in his stupid rampage.
Yeah, 3 people in one day.
In one day, and injured 2 more. Because in the car that he collided with, there were apparently 3 people. 2 passed away. I have their names here. Pediclinic nurse, Oluta Olatala. No, that's not. Pediclinic nurse, Aluta Olota. That's it. And Hamburg librarian, Siasanga Diamini. They were only 29 years old. And they had another person in the car which was injured, but they remained anonymous, so I'm not 100%, I don't know who they are. Yeah, so Bulelane was arrested, but they had to take him to the hospital because of his injuries he sustained during the car accident. And he died on the 1st of September 2019, so he couldn't even
stand trial.
Yes, justice couldn't even really be served. Not that putting him in jail would have brought Leighandre back, but he couldn't even serve out his sentence. You know, he couldn't even pay for what he had done. He died shortly after taking the life of a complete innocent person.
Yeah, and the other 2 people as well.
Exactly.
3 people gone because you couldn't let someone go? You felt you to control them? You
were emotionally immature and couldn't deal with your own feelings. I don't know, you don't know how to regulate your own emotions, and you take it out on other people in the most horrific way possible. Like, that's all I can think about. And then, what even makes this worse is a year after her death, on the 5th of September 2020, SABC News reported that the Jegels family had still not even received a post-mortem report.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that they're now...
There's no reason for that.
And that they're now in the process of suing the state, which I hope they do.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that the protection order wasn't fully enforced is absolutely ridiculous. This didn't need to happen. Yeah. She was a completely innocent person with such a bright future. She was 25 years old.
That's so young.
She was my age, literally my age, and some freaking snot-nosed idiot just decided that because she didn't want to be with him anymore, now she can't be with anyone else.
Yeah, it's so
fuck you. Like, fuck you. If you are an abuser, fuck you. Like, honestly, like, go and search your soul. Like I said before, go and search your soul. You need to work on yourself, honestly, because you're the problem.
Yeah, there's nothing right about any of that.
Exactly. If you're constantly blaming other people and constantly think, you know, that you're the victim, maybe you should reverse that. I don't know, because that's what I feel abusers are at the end of the day. They feel like they're the ones that are always being taken out of context or whatever, and then they have the right to just be violent and things like that. So,
or just do crappy things to you. Like, I mean, you know, my wonderful person that I had in my life that's like that, who's, you know, they'll just say things to other people, make up stuff to turn them against you, and try and like ruin your life in horrible ways, and that's like a stepping stone to doing worse things. And abuse is never okay in any way. And it's not fair to put someone else in that position, and her parents to put them in that position now.
I can't even imagine. Like, we watched some of their interviews like a couple of weeks ago, and you can really just see how sad they are. And I can't even imagine the grief that they're going through, and the fact that justice hasn't been served, not only with the murder of their daughter, but the fact that the protection order wasn't upheld. You know, that in and of itself is justice not being served. Because this man just could get away with it. I wonder if it's because he was in the police force.
The fact that he was in the police force is disgusting.
Exactly. And the fact that he still had a firearm. Like, is there not... Like I said, I try to read up on a protection order a little bit, but I don't know if when you're a police officer it's a little bit different for you.
It shouldn't be. It should be worse.
No, but that's what I'm saying. In my mind, if you're a police officer, and especially if you're a police officer who has a weapon and stuff like that, if someone takes out a protection order on you, I feel like your weapon should be confiscated and you should be put on desk work or whatever, because you're obviously a threat to someone, and that someone is a part of the public. So aren't you supposed to protect the public? So I don't understand.
It's really wrong. It just shows like the level of corruption as well, that stuff like that, and laziness. Just it is what it is. Like, people don't want to do their jobs, and it's like, but you have a really crucial role. The police is important, just like the ambulance drivers are important. You know, the EMS people. We need them for society to function. Like, if you have something going on and you go to the police with the protection order, you assume you're going to get protected, and that you're going to have some backup. Okay, I'm not in this alone. People are going to protect me. People who are supposed to have weapons to protect me are going to have my back, and to have that violated is just, it's awful. Like, I can't imagine how those parents must feel. Was she the only daughter?
I think so. Like, I didn't see anything about any siblings, but I might be wrong. If you know the family or anything and I am wrong, please let me know. But I assume that she was the only child. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't hear anything about brothers, because if I assume that they would have also protected her and stuff like that. So I think she is the only child, which makes us much sadder.
And you know there's going to be some arsehole who's like, oh, but she's so strong, she's a boxer, why didn't she protect herself against him in the past? Like,
if you say that, fuck off.
Don't blame the victim.
Exactly.
You don't know that situation. And it's, you're emotionally attached to someone. You don't want to physically, as a woman, like, I speak for myself now, I don't want to physically hurt my partner in any way. I want to protect him and care for him.
And I also think, if that happens to you, you must be in such a state of shock.
Yes.
You know, you might not even know how to react. You don't know how you're going to react in fight or flight mode. You don't know until you're in that situation. So I can't blame someone for reacting the way they react, or not reacting the way I think they should have reacted or whatever, because I haven't been in that exact situation before.
Thank goodness, and it's like, no one's perfect, but no one deserves abuse.
No.
At all, in any situation. There is a way to come to a conclusion, you know, but then again, some of those people aren't really reachable on a sane level. It's
on
just
a
so
humane
sad.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just all very tragic, and she shouldn't have
No.
been in that situation. And her mom as well. Like, to have your daughter die right there with you, and you, that guilt that she must have felt, like, I didn't protect my daughter.
Yes.
Like, which is not the case.
No.
Like, she's an amazing parent.
Oh, incredible. And yeah, I just wanted to bring a light to this whole situation. And I know that I watched a video, I think it was also SABC that covered this, and they wanted to name a community hall or boxing hall, something like that, after Leighandre. But there was, again, like, boxing politics got involved, and like there's some sort of problem with them renaming the hall. I don't know. If there's a petition, can someone let us know?
Yeah, please.
Because I would love to
Yeah.
sign that, because I don't understand why we can't rename a hall after someone who deserves that.
Yes.
You know, she was a champion. She was gonna build such a massive name for herself, and she just didn't have the opportunity. And she already had so many titles behind her name. I'm gonna read them again. She was a World Karate Champion. She was a Continental and SA Boxing Champion. And she was the SA Karate Champion from 2009 to 2012.
That's
so
amazing.
why? Boxing and karate, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
She's incredible.
why?
I get winded going up the stairs, and she's 25 and she's doing that. Like, that's amazing.
Just name the hall after her, or the boxing ring. I don't know what it is. Just name it after her.
Yeah.
Like, what is it gonna affect? You know, it just
It's in her
adds
memory.
to her legacy, yes.
And I mean,
exactly.
the South
That's
Africa
the least you can do.
Yeah, we're supposed to be about ending gender-based violence. That's one way to do it. Because this is an instance of gender-based violence.
100%.
So name it after her and have like a whole memorial plaque against, you know, gender-based violence, and turn it into something positive.
yeah.
Why
Put
not?
your money where your mouth is, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe it'll bring more women to the sport. You never know.
I
You
hope
know?
so. It's a great sport.
We all need to learn to box, unfortunately, in this
Yes.
world.
Yes.
Sad.
Shall we
Thanks.
pause
Yes.
for a wee?
And a wine. I think it's working. So I want to cover South African paranormal and creepy stories, but it's so hard to do research on South African stories because there isn't much information.
No, there's not much documented.
Yeah. Like I even looked for forums, I looked for Facebook groups because I'm on a few like paranormal groups, and I tried to look for posts and stuff, and it's so hard to find information. So at least this was a more well-known subject, so I thought I'd cover this first. So we're going to talk about the Tokoloshe, or Tokoloshe,
So excited.
or Tokoloshe, I think.
Tokoloshe.
Yeah, which sounds kinder than it is.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've always heard of it, you know,
Yes,
living
me
in
too.
South Africa, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I don't know of the law
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes from
Yes.
or what it does necessarily. I just know you put your bed on bricks
Yeah.
to not get attacked by it.
Yeah, I just always imagined it as this little thing that's going to run after you in
Yeah,
the
like a
passage when
little
you put the lights
devil
off. Yeah.
Type of thing, almost like a little dwarf. I don't know, not dwarf. What do you call those other things? Not a dwarf.
Trolls?
Yes, like a troll, like
Right.
a small
Yes.
troll, whatever.
Very Scandinavian. Okay, so the Tokoloshe comes from Zulu or Xhosa mythology. It's known as a dwarf-like water spirit. It can become invisible apparently by drinking water or holding a stone in its mouth.
That's convenient.
Which, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I would love that power,
yeah,
honestly.
Imagine BTK every time he goes into a... Maybe he thought that he goes invisible every
his
time.
favorite drink was freaking water. Only I drink water. Water is my signature. Staying hydrated. That's what I do.
I can't wait till you cover that. And, yeah, a Tokoloshe can be summoned using muti, which is African traditional medicine. Magic?
Magic, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
To cause trouble for others. So you can use the muti to then summon this creature and it will go and do your bidding kind of thing.
Muti's like a spell, kind of. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Yeah, it's
voodoo. No, not really
Not
voodoo, but
yeah, but it's our own version of it.
Yes,
like our magical sort of...
Southern African version of voodoo. I know voodoo. I don't know where voodoo originated. Is it Africa or the Caribbean?
I don't know, and I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, no,
but I know there's voodoo and hoodoo,
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah,
And black magic.
Yeah, but black magic is also very like
Pagan.
relative. No,
Okay.
because like a Christian will think that any paganism is black magic,
Yes.
because there's that lack of education, and I can say that because I was raised Christian. So yes, it's a terrible lack of education. It's super ignorant, and if you're offended, I'm sorry. Bye. It's the truth. This is my opinion, not Chanelle's. I just feel like when we're raised Christian, we're very closed-minded.
Yeah.
There's, of course, really good things about it, but there's a lot of, I can't talk to you because you don't follow my lifestyle, which is terrible because Jesus spoke to everyone.
Yes.
And Jesus loved everyone.
Exactly. And I also feel like there is a lot of hypocrisy that goes along with very influential people at the church.
Yeah.
There's always a little bit of that feeling.
Yes, like something's not quite right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there is that they are not backwards, but they're a little bit seedy and in my opinion and in my experience.
But it's important to say that because we're discussing something that has to do with tribal traditions and things that we are very uneducated about. Like, I know for myself, doing this research, I had no idea about a lot of this.
Yeah, me too. And I'd love to learn more about this.
Because, I mean, there's so many things that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that it's, the Zulu and Xhosa. I can't say it, I'm sorry.
No, my cousin had Xhosa.
Yeah, you're so good at it.
Well, my cousin had Xhosa at school, and she used to kind of teach me a little bit. Not that I know anything except how to say Xhosa. Or if I even say that right, I don't even think I am, because I know there's different clicking sounds. There's different varieties of clicks, which I do not know.
I just remember from our grade 3, we had a Xhosa teacher in our one school, and I had Inya, Zimbinya, Zintatu, Zinya, Zintano, Zintandatu, Zintaya. I don't know where this is coming from. I thought I forgot all that. I think I got to 9. No, I got to 8, I think. I don't know. I just remember, like, we had this one teacher, and she didn't come for very long, but she taught us at least to count. That's all. I don't know where that came from. That was suppressed. Maybe I need more wine.
Your eyes went like blank as you were saying it. You were completely zoned out.
I was possessed by Tokoloshe, probably.
Oh my god, no, please. Go away.
Oh, Lord. Oh, let's not call that into existence. Knock on wood. Okay, so what is a Tokoloshe? It's apparently made from graveyard soil and bits of dead bodies. Now, I can't remember because I did my notes a while ago and I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. But I don't know if it's the bits of bodies of people or Tokoloshe that died already. But I think it's the Tokoloshe bodies. So kind of like cutting a plant, I guess, and you can like grow a new piece.
Propagations of previous Tokoloshes.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
That speaks to the gardener in me.
Please don't grow Tokoloshe.
I don't want to. Go away. I don't want to.
So apparently they become animated when a nail or hot poker is impaled in its head. So it's often seen with a hole in its forehead, which is weird because in the pictures I saw that's like where your third eye kind of thing would be. Which I wonder if that's got any connection in a
way. I mean, where else would you put the hole?
I mean, your brain is everywhere in your head.
True. True.
I mean, don't ask me which regions do what, because clearly I'm a genius.
That is horrific, though. Like how you awaken it by piercing something through its skull. That's disgusting.
It's kind of like lobotomies, though, isn't it?
Oh, like creating a zombie, like Jeffrey Dahmer wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Wow, this is getting really connected to holy crap.
This is weird. You gross.
Go away. You know what the connection is? Humans are stupid. There we go. Right. Apparently it speaks with a lisp, which...
That is such a random fact to like just throw in there.
Yeah, there it is.
I love the fact that
apparently
it just lisps.
This is so cute. Oh, apparently the hole in its head, the burning metal rod, the heat ties into the special power of heat in Zulu magic. So I don't know if that's what reanimates it, is that power of the heat, or if it pierces the temporal lobe and it's like, hey, I don't know how biology works.
I have no idea. I don't know.
And do Tokoloshe
destructive fire is, how powerful it is. I don't know.
Maybe it's really cold.
Cold?
No,
the Tokoloshe. Oh, I see.
Oh, it's a corpse. It's cold and then it gets warmed up.
The fire's not cold, Kristin. I'm pretty sure that's pretty hot.
I'm sure in some anime I watched once, the fire was called a rice. Okay. Oh, even better. It's usually seen as naked, but sometimes it wears a cloak, so that's nice.
That's gross.
So, yeah, it's sort of a zombie goblin-like creature.
But it's naked.
And it's naked. And its eyes have been gouged out. Oh, that's lovely. So it relies on its other senses. So there's 3 holes in its face.
Just holes.
Just
not eyes.
wonderful. So if you've got that, what is it? Our boyfriends are having
A date.
Yeah, in the lounge, and we're not far enough away apparently, and the door is not helping.
I don't know if you can hear that.
Probably.
The squealing laughter that came out of the lounge, which is considerably far away.
That's adorable. At least they're having fun.
At least they're having fun.
Wait.
You were at the cloak, yes? Oh no, the eyes
the eyes,
gouged
yes.
out.
I feel like you said something and then we go, no, whatever.
I just said no, like 3 holes, no eyes.
Yeah, gross. Apparently it's like grey or brown, sort of weather-beaten looking body. It's a small creature with long bony fingers, and it basically has a hairy dad bod based on all the pictures I saw on the internet. So it's, you know, the tummy and the man boobs.
Yeah,
it's
the
great.
little pooch.
Yeah. And the Tokoloshe has a single buttock. Its penis is so long, it slings it over his shoulders.
As
That
I
is
like to say, a unibutt.
And a massive schlong. And that was quoted from Designing Life, which is a blog. Oh yeah.
So shortly, yet so long.
It's a chode.
As I said before, a chode.
My sources were News24, DesigningLife.biz, mg.co.za, which is Mail and Guardian, and then a YouTube video, but all of the links will be in the show notes, just before I forget to mention that. So, where does the legend come from? Because the story of the Tokoloshe is rooted in Zulu or Xhosa culture, it originates from tribal life. So, in the rondavels where they lived, which is those, like, is it clay? Those round
clay,
little buildings. They'd light fires in there to obviously keep warm. And the potential for carbon monoxide poisoning is very likely the first origin of the story. So in these rondavels, there wasn't, adequate ventilation for these fires in there, and people would basically die from carbon monoxide poisoning.
I never thought of this.
Yeah. So they said that this creature was coming to kill the family members, but actually they were just suffocating because of the poison.
Yes, from the smoke, yeah.
Yes, because there wasn't adequate ventilation. So what they ended up doing, they thought, oh, there's a Tokoloshe, there's this little thing that comes in and kills us, so let's raise our beds on bricks, let's elevate the level where we sleep. And so then people stop dying. But it's because carbon monoxide is a very heavy gas, and it sinks and the oxygen rises, rises, so then you don't breathe in the carbon monoxide, so you have a better chance of surviving that.
That's crazy. I never knew.
Yeah, it blew my mind when I saw that, because I didn't think of it. Like, it's such an obvious thing, but you don't think of it, especially, it's now a tribal setting.
Yeah.
You don't have what we have now. Like, we always think of things from that
our perspective.
Yes, and it's completely not what other people still now, experience. Like, even now there's tribes in, like, the Amazon where they don't have anything modern. They still use spears and stuff, and it's
I saw that
insane to think about.
An article about that the other day. It's crazy.
It's so weird to think of, because we imagine everyone's on our level in a way.
Yes, and like they have no connection to humanity, like this civilization. This
civilization.
Luckily, but yeah. I'm not going to talk about that yet.
We could get on many tangents.
Yeah.
We'll just moan the whole time. We have like an hour of us shouting
into oblivion.
So just the changing of the level where they slept helped them to stay alive. And then, of course, we solved the problem with the Tokoloshe, because now we don't have this creature coming to harm us. We're alive. This thing is real because we fixed this problem. So it makes a whole lot of sense. Especially if you look at it in that guise of, back in those days and the way the world was, it makes perfect sense.
Definitely.
So, what does this thing do? Apparently it likes milk, and it often steals it directly from a farmer's cow's udders. I can read, I went to school.
So you're just gonna have a separate cow for the Tokoloshe?
Yes, because apparently it just goes and drinks milk directly from the cow, and then apparently the farmer has no more milk, but I don't know how that works.
From all of the cows. All of the milk from all of the cows.
Apparently,
or is there multiple Tokoloshe?
I think it's just the one that's drinking.
That's just like very gluttonous and
I
drinks
guess
all
so.
of the milk. He has like a bunch of milkshakes he needs to make. His milkshakes brings the boys to the yard.
And they're all carrying crosses. I don't know, I try to rhyme and exorcism doesn't work. Never mind. We'll cut that out. Alright. Where was I? Oh,
Sorry.
this is wonderful. No. Apparently they are known to cause night terrors and strange dreams that prevent you from sleeping. Which is not what I love. Or the dreams are so great and you sleep so well that you don't know that he's there and he's coming into your room to steal your soul.
You're never safe.
No.
Basically, even if you have good dreams, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. It can be really good and it's just distracting you. Yeah, it sucks. There's a quote from News 24. I've seen cases where the Tokoloshe is in complete control of a person. It inhabits and controls them. People black out and wake up naked in the middle of a field when the Tokoloshe decides to take a rest. They have no idea how they got there or what they've been doing, in some cases for days prior.
So this sounds like a demon.
Yeah, that sounds like possession. That
terrifying. Sounds like demon behavior.
I'm sorry, I need wine for that. That's terrible.
Take a sip. Take the biggest sip.
Like, that's scary. Like, you don't know what you've been doing,
like
where
I
you
said,
are.
that sounds like a demonic possession.
Yeah.
I said demon possession.
Yeah, same. But that's also the thing. You know, we could say, oh, it's born out of this scientific thing that's happened and we didn't have an answer for it before, but now we know what it is.
But how do you explain this?
Yeah, like, I don't know if I saw it on an episode of Supernatural or something about thought forms. So if a lot of people believe in something, it makes it real.
I saw that it is on Supernatural, yes.
So, I mean, it makes sense because
if you put a lot of energy into something, if a lot of different people put the same energy towards something, would it not manifest something?
It could.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like maybe there was no Bigfoot, but because so many people believed in it,
they started acting out like all these different scenarios. Or started sleepwalking perhaps even, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So it could be there. It could
it could be real.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be a sort of spirit that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an opportunistic serial killer kind of spirit who was like, hey, they're going to die from carbon monoxide. Let me kill them anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Or maybe it's just a demon. Straight up demon. Yeah. A small demon with a big penis.
Thanks for reminding me.
And a unibut.
And now I'm picturing, because it said it throws it over its shoulder, and now I'm picturing like a demon from hell, but with this really long penis, but the penis is on fire, and it's using it as a lasso to try and catch you.
That is horrific.
You know what? If I have to see it in my mind, you have to hear about it, and so does everyone else.
That is gross. I hope I never go to hell.
I hate my imagination. Like, where does that come from? Stop.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm a demon.
No.
No? Okay. She's like, I don't want to be in the room with the demon. No, please don't. Okay, so then I watched a YouTube video by V Pro Metropolis, and it had I'm assuming is Dutch.
Sorry.
Oh, Chanelle loves to click her bones, and I hate it so much. Oh my goodness, it's like the worst anti-ASMR ever. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this guy went to go see locals and find out about the Tokoloshe. So this Dutch guy, he spoke to this South African person and said, so this guy that he spoke to said that the Tokoloshe won't come to this, I'm going to call him a journalist because it makes it easier. So this local said that the Tokoloshe won't come to this journalist because he's a white person and the Tokoloshe can't reach him. And he was trying to give this analogy of like water snakes and how the snake can't travels on the water, but he's kind of on land, so the snake can't get to him.
Okay.
Which kind of makes sense, but it was also very confusing because the local's like, you know what I mean, and he's like, I don't understand you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm also.
But maybe it's more of a case of like you have to grow up in that culture, or that belief must be ingrained in you.
Yeah, it's like Native Americans and skinwalkers almost.
Maybe.
Like it's part of your culture
and your bloodline.
Yeah.
I don't know. But don't skinwalkers attack other, like normal?
Oh,
no. Don't skinwalkers attack white people as well? I didn't mean to say normal people. White people are normal people.
Yeah.
They're anti-normal, if anything.
There's a reason there's Y in the word.
Yeah. That is hilarious. I've never heard that before. But that is That is the best thing I've ever heard.
I can't wait to eat quiche.
Me too, I'm sorry.
Chanelle baked us a quiche and I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm worried. Okay, we've been recording for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
I'll probably only get like 40 minutes worth of actual audio.
Which is still too much. Can you stop fiddling with your boobs?
Those are my boobs. It's this fucking thing. A cat pin.
It's being a real cat and it doesn't want to be held in one place. There's a YouTube video by VPro Metropolis, and there's this Dutch man who went to go see locals and found out about the Tokoloshe. So the locals said that the Tokoloshe can't come to this man because he's white and the Tokoloshe can't reach him. Mm-hmm. So I said that in my notes that it's strange that it seems to be an evil spirit, but it only seems to work within the Zulu and Xhosa communities. And it's very interesting because also I watched another video where this couple was seeking asylum in Sweden because 2 men tried to kidnap their 2-year-old daughter, and apparently they were going to sell her for the body parts that you use in muti.
Oh.
Because
to create Tokoloshe.
Yes, pretty much. So there's apparently a whole, I remember now, I went down this rabbit hole watching about South African magic practices and like the traditional magic, and how the body parts of like people can be used in the muti, in this magic, to summon the Tokoloshe or whatever, especially genitals. Maybe it's because
That's
the Tokoloshe
right. Has a massive schlong.
Yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know what the connection is. Also, I didn't seem to find a female Tokoloshe at all, so I don't know. Yeah, like
only men.
Alright, so oh, this is wonderful. I don't want to read this, but anyway, there's a quote from Mail and Guardian. So this is what the quote says. The Tokoloshe, which looks like a baboon or short hairy man with a long penis, is also reputed to have an insatiable sexual appetite, and in order to satisfy this lust, it prowls around at night to rape unsuspecting women.
Gross.
Which is not okay.
No, so it can go right off and fuck itself.
Yeah.
That's
it probably could.
Yes, it probably could reach around.
I hope my parents never listen to this.
I'm not going to tell my mom about this.
Like, you can listen to this, but not the first episode.
I mentioned that we have a podcast, but I never mentioned the name, so...
Yeah, I haven't even told my parents yet, so...
Yeah,
they can barely use Facebook, it's fine.
Yeah, no. Sorry, my mama.
Yeah.
Maak my oor toe. It's okay.
It's better this way for both of us. Okay, so I saw this on Google and I immediately looked for it and I couldn't find any other information. But apparently, the Tokoloshe has a special power known as Mashoshapanzi, which means to make it go under. So this power allows it to extend its penis to any length and send it underground into the genitals of a sleeping or unsuspecting woman, which is another quote from Mail and Guardian.
That is disgusting.
It's repulsive.
Which is also probably why they raise their beds, I guess.
It's gross. Yeah, that's probably...
I would hope. I don't know. I guess. I mean, not
it's
hope,
just gross.
That's gross. Fuck. Jeez. That's gross.
And it's gross how it started off as, something plausible.
That
like
drinks milk. Just steals milk.
Yeah.
And now it rapes women.
Yeah, and it was first, our fires are causing us to die in this tribal setting. It's perfectly legit. And then it moves to almost emulates the social climate of South Africa where it's,
now
rape is a problem.
Yeah, now it's rape. Now let's blame the Tokoloshe and raping people.
Yeah, which that's also the problem, is that it becomes a scapegoat where someone can commit a crime and be like, oh, it was just a Tokoloshe. Or I was possessed by the Tokoloshe or whatever. Which is just not okay in any way. And as we heard from your story, there's not always justice, and people can't always go to the police and say, hey, help me.
Protection, no, it's because they don't always offer.
Yeah, you don't get protection. Yeah, it's very sad. Because I remember the one time I phoned the police and they came 3 hours later. Like, and that's in a suburb in Somerset West,
The one morning at our flat, at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, there was someone shouting, screaming and shouting, help me, help me, help me. It literally woke me up from dead sleep. It woke me up. And it woke my fiance up as well. And the shouting didn't go away. And we couldn't go outside. We didn't know where it was. secondly, it's too dangerous
Yeah.
to go outside, and it was curfew, so
Okay.
we weren't, by law, we weren't allowed to go outside.
Yes.
And I phoned the police and I told them about it, but the lady on the other side didn't seem really interested in my story. Because there's someone shouting, I don't know what the details are, but someone's shouting for help. Someone's clearly in need of assistance.
And if it doesn't stop, then it's just, okay, this is not like a joke or whatever. Someone needs your help.
Exactly, and she didn't really respond
so
in a favourable manner. And
yeah.
I didn't see any officers rocking up there, so
that's really sad.
I don't think they came.
Yeah, that's why it's always better to have your neighborhood watch number and just call them, because they're going to get there faster.
Definitely.
Or your alarm system people. Or
yes,
whatever.
Definitely.
Oh, it's freaking sad.
Yeah.
It's not right, because they're supposed to be there to protect us. What's the point of a police force if they're not going to protect you?
Exactly.
Oh, my word.
Anyway.
The point of that was that the Tokoloshe seems to have followed social patterns in our behaviours, but I suppose all law kind of follows that in a way. Okay, so then there was a lot in that article that I read. Here's just a few of the things, because it made me go, what the hell, this is weird. So one story was 2 men from a village were told to get out of the village, like they were told to leave, because the locals there said that they had admitted that they owned Tokoloshe and were using them to steal maize from houses. So it also sounds like that, oh, we're stealing this and now we're just going to blame the Tokoloshe.
On something supernatural,
Yeah. A witch apparently told a white farmer that he can fire all of his farm staff, because this witch could do all of the work by himself. So this farmer's like, yeah, cool, if I only have to pay one person instead of all my staff, fine, do it. And one night this farmer goes out to see how this witch does all of this work by himself every night. And he allegedly saw a big group of small creatures tilling the land, and this witch was acting as a supervisor.
That is
so
disgusting.
It was like a bunch of Tokoloshe just working the field for this guy.
That is bizarre and very scary. I never want to see that in my whole entire life.
Yeah, because one Tokoloshe is bad enough. Like, you don't need a whole field full of them.
Tokoloshe, like tending the garden.
Yeah, because I don't even have it in my notes there, but
what type of energy will you be putting into your veggies and stuff?
That's true, because the energy transfers through everything. Yeah.
I like gardening, and I think that I want to be in a good mood when I garden. Like, what kind of energy are you putting into your food if you are using Tokoloshe?
Maybe that's why Christians are like, pray over your food before you eat it.
Oh.
To cancel out any negative energy that might be connected to it.
Maybe.
We should, especially for eating meat, we should actually be just saying thank you.
Yeah.
Especially for that.
Yeah.
Just to the universe in general, like, thanks, animal.
Luckily the quiche is vegetarian.
Yay! I knocked the desk. Okay. So, I didn't even put this in my notes, but I saw a video. It was actually an American podcaster doing South African, like one of us. There was an American podcaster covering the story of the Tokoloshe, and they had this really cool animated video to go with their podcast. So I watched that on YouTube, and apparently in the story, this girl with her parents moved into a new home in South Africa, and they didn't have all their furniture yet, and this girl was in her room, and she had her mattress on the floor, and everything was fine for the first little bit, and then she would see this woman walking down the road every day, and she didn't know who this woman was, but it was at night, and it was this like creepy woman walking down the road every night. And then this girl, when she went to sleep, she felt something biting her toes, and she was very scared, and she was like freaking out, and she woke up and she looked under the blankets, and there was this little creature biting her toes and like trying to attack her, and it freaked her out so much, and she screamed, and her parents came in, and they couldn't see this creature because apparently only children can see it. And so this Tokoloshe was attacking her, and it ended up going away, but it came back almost every night, and she was so frustrated. And then she put it together after a while. Like, this started once she started seeing this woman.
Oh, so she's the woman.
Yeah. So she went outside the one night when she saw the woman walk by, and she said to this woman, "Did you do this? Did you put this thing on me?" And this woman's like, "Yes, I don't like you. I don't like your family. That used to be my house, and my husband died, and I had to move out there." And the girl's like, "But I didn't do anything. Like, I'm moving with my
family.
Yeah, like, we didn't take your house from you.
Yeah.
Like, we're sorry you lost your house, but we didn't do this to you. We needed a place to stay in, and it was there.
Yeah.
You know? And so this woman's like, fine, I'll remove it from you. And then that night the girl could sleep well. Like, she was fine, she didn't have that. But then after she fell asleep, she heard screaming. She went into her parents' rooms, and the parents' feet were red and bloody, and this thing was biting their feet, and she could see it and the parents couldn't. Yeah. So the parents are there and they can see their feet are getting bloody and something's biting them, and they can't see it at all.
That's terrifying.
It's
That's
gross.
disgusting. I do not want to ever experience that in my whole life.
So
I don't
creepy.
even want to dream about that. Never mind.
It's horrible.
It.
So yeah, that's like one of the first like stories that I heard when researching, and I thought it was such an interesting way. So that's also one thing. The girl, they raised her bed onto chairs, like dining room chairs, the mattress, until she could get the bed frame. But it's still, she saw it, but it couldn't get to her feet
because
it's too high. So but then she went and she confronted this woman because she's like, I still see this thing every night. I can hear it.
Crazy.
It's trying to get me. How am I supposed to sleep? Like, she's a child, it's terrifying. And then she was like, she had this weird guilt because, okay, now it's not getting her anymore, but it's her parents.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it was a very interesting story. So, it just adds to that whole thing of seeing, like, a group of these creatures, like, working in your field, but you know that there's these horrible stories about them. Then this is also freaking sad. Social workers in the region, the Lowveld, which is round about where this like either comes from or where it's most prominent, they receive a lot of complaints about women who believe that they were raped by Tokoloshe, which again can be that whole, it's happening, like this person's doing it and then blaming it on it. Because it's such an accepted part of the culture, it's easy to then just believe that, especially if it's going to be, one of those respected members of the community or whatever. They're like, no, we won't believe you. You're just a girl. You're lying, whatever. It makes it so much easier for them to get away with this crap. And apparently divorce, which is a big problem, I'm quoting, from the rural areas, that's also often said to be because the Tokoloshe raped the guy's wife, and then she lost interest in her husband. Which is just
stupid. That's stupid. If you believe that, it's stupid.
Like, okay. So, again, blame the victim.
Exactly.
And also, she
lost interest. Are you mad?
Like, how insecure are you?
She's been through a traumatic experience. She was most likely raped for real.
Yeah.
She went through trauma.
Yeah.
And she's trying to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. But no, it has to be about you. Oh no, my wife doesn't love me anymore. She rather wants to be with this Tokoloshe. Like,
go away.
Seriously.
Go away. Go to the field. Go
away. You go for whatever they're
Go to the field until you've learned better.
So that was like the stuff that I found. And how you get rid of it is you can hire a witch doctor or sangoma, and they apparently have special powders and salts that some are made from dead Tokoloshe, which is weird because you can create a Tokoloshe from the remains of a Tokoloshe, but you can also use it to destroy it, which is very,
prophetic.
I don't know. Like, I don't know of other stories where that's almost the same as you can kill a vampire by taking one of its fangs and like stabbing it in its like vein or something. No, I'm saying if that was a thing.
I never knew that about a vampire.
No, but like that's kind of in my mind the same thing. It's using, something
part of
from
it
that
to kill it. Yeah, that's weird.
Which is strange because even in that kind of law, you use like a wooden stake or a silver bullet or something like that. You don't use a part of a dead vampire
thing.
Just as an example. So it's very interesting.
That is weird.
And there's obviously a lot more that I need to research into this and learn about because it's such a big subject. And you can't take it just purely on its own like we're trying to do now. Like there's a whole aspect of South African witchcraft and traditional beliefs and things because obviously like most other places, Christianity was pushed upon locals and tribes and stuff, and
definitely influence the way they see things there's a whole lot of
cultural integrations and stuff that goes into the story, but like in general it's a really interesting story, and I didn't know any of this.
Neither did I. A lot of this I never knew.
There's some headlines I found from the impeccable journalism that is the Sun. But we won't say anything about that.
Great
I'll
journalism.
I'll start with a really sad one. It's just headlines that I found. Actually, just Google Images. I just looked at the headlines and I was just like, what is this? So I'll start with the sad one because it's terrible, but it needs to also be said. It goes with what we were saying. So, baby Tokoloshe, in commas, killed. Mum, I thought the man was kicking a bundle of clothes, but it was my beloved Azakanye. So this guy killed I think he was drunk in the article. It said he killed this baby. He kicked it to death. He thought it was a Tokoloshe. And it's an infant. It's a little baby. Which is so sad.
That is so sad. That is...
But it also shows how ingrained it is into the culture.
Yes, that when you're drunk, like you're so scared of it still. Like it's something that you still think of. It's something that you still fear. Yeah,
it's almost like the devil in Christianity because you're always fearing it. You always think, oh, it's going to get me.
Yes, or demons or whatever.
Yeah, it's very... So it's not that like alien of a concept. Like we get it. It's just not... Oh, that must be terrible for the parents. It's just like your baby, your little child, and...
I can't even imagine. It's your family member who did that.
Yeah, it's messed up. So now that we've got that terribleness out the way, we'll do the rest of the headlines, which I thought were just amazing. It has knocked out this woman. Now the creature of evil is trapped. Tokoloshe. And what I love about them is the use of capitals and exclamation points. It's just...
everywhere.
It's amazing. Tokoloshe made me a sex slave. Horny Tokoloshe whispers, "Donkey, sweetie."
That is
creepy and
that
terrifying.
Is so gross.
Ew.
Donkey, sweetie.
Tokoloshe tracker in my bum.
I don't understand what that means.
I really
Tracker, did he plant a tracker into your bum?
And is that sponsored by the company Tracker? Oh my goodness. There's Tokoloshe kissed my daughter.
Ew.
Tokoloshe stops church service. Crazy Tokoloshe from hell. Tokoloshe splits couple. And he's only this high, and she's holding her hand like up to her knee to show how tall he is. Terror of the gay Tokoloshe.
Oh my word.
And the best one of all, Tokoloshe was twerking for my husband. Which, I mean, we've described what this thing looks like. Dad bod, really short.
He's got really niche interests.
Yeah, maybe he's, maybe he doesn't want to be with his wife. Maybe he wants to be with a short male wife.
Man.
Husband, there we go. Male wife.
The male version of a wife.
A spouse.
That is
It's
amazing. I never knew half of this.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to learn new things about and more things about South African law and
there's so much.
law as in LORE.
Yeah. I know, I was thinking the same thing, you can interchange it. Chanelle's eyes just went wide, she just had the biggest epiphany.
I'm like, it's not just law and order, but it's law and order as
Order? Law and Omen.
Omen, I mean. But you could swap it around and the order can be the law, the LAW part.
Yes.
I definitely had like a...
Yeah, that was amazing.
An anti-brain fart.
At least we understood what we meant. It's fine. Yeah, so that's the Tokoloshe. So
that's crazy.
Yes. So that was my
I
stomach.
think we need to go and eat now. Join us again next week.
Yes,
for Law and
Omen.
Omen.
Thanks for
So
listening.
good. How we said that at the same time? Fuck.
First time, that's all.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We're great.